Mr. Frank Howard storms into the room with a rage that makes everyone freeze. His temper fills the entire office like a sudden storm. He demands to know where the missing money has gone, shouting at his workers as they stand trembling under his gaze. Without hesitation, he orders Johnny and the maid to stand facing the wall, saying he only wants to see the back of their heads. His voice echoes with authority, making it clear that this is not a negotiation. This is an interrogation. The workers exchange nervous glances, knowing Frank does not tolerate excuses. Papers scatter across the desk as he searches for answers, accusing his staff of playing games with him. The maid wrings her hands nervously. Johnny avoids eye contact, and the silence grows heavier by the second. Frank paces slowly behind them, demanding the truth, convinced someone in the room is hiding something from him, and he refuses to leave without a confession. Tension shifts when Frank suddenly demands the day's surveillance footage. The assistant rushes in holding a small USB drive and inserts it into the screen. The room fills with the cool glow of recorded images, but one detail stands out, a suspicious moment involving Frank's golf bag. The footage reveals that the bag has far more space than needed for golf clubs. The assistant nervously points out that the bag could easily fit stacks of cash. Frank stares at the screen, silent for the first time, his face tightening as he realizes someone may have used his personal belongings to hide the missing money. The maid looks away, clearly troubled, while Johnny watches quietly with a strange calmness. Frank demands the blinds be closed, convinced that someone is framing him or stealing from him. The atmosphere thickens as everyone waits for his next outburst. The truth suddenly feels closer, but also more dangerous than before. Just as the tension reaches its peak, the door opens softly. A young woman steps inside with quiet confidence, her face calm yet filled with purpose. The warm light from the hallway frames her silhouette, making everyone turn toward her. Frank stares in confusion, demanding to know who she is. With steady eyes, she reveals that she is Donald's daughter. Donald, the man Frank once called his business partner. The revelation shocks Frank, but what she says next shakes him even more. She exposes that she knows about the cash hidden inside the blinds and how the money was moved around. Johnny and the maid exchange uneasy glances while Frank tries to regain control of the situation. The daughter stands proudly, refusing to let fear silence her. She tells Frank she is here for answers, for truth, and for justice for her late father. In that moment, it becomes clear she knows far more than Frank ever expected. The daughter places a thick envelope of documents on Frank's desk. Inside are years of evidence, proof that Frank betrayed her father, framed him, stole his business, and took everything Donald had built. She exposes how Frank manipulated accounts, forged signatures, and covered up every trace of his wrongdoing. Frank's face turns pale as he flips through the files, realizing what she has uncovered. The maid watches in shock, and Johnny keeps his distance, observing every reaction. Frank tries to deny everything, shouting that the girl is lying, but the evidence is undeniable. Cornered and angry, Frank snaps and orders Johnny to silence her for good, revealing just how far he is willing to go to protect himself. But the daughter remains fearless, knowing she has the truth on her side. The room becomes a battlefield of accusations, anger, and long-buried secrets finally rising to the surface. Just when it seems danger is about to strike, Johnny steps forward with unexpected authority. Instead of following Frank's command, he pulls out a badge and reveals his true identity. He is an undercover police officer assigned to investigate Frank's crimes. Frank stands frozen, unable to comprehend what is happening. The maid gasps, covering her mouth in shock, while the daughter watches with relief in her eyes. Johnny calmly states that they have been monitoring Frank for months, gathering evidence of money laundering, corruption, and framing Donald. The documents provided by the daughter were the final pieces needed to complete the case. Officers begin entering the office, surrounding Frank. For once, Frank is speechless as Johnny announces his arrest. The room shifts from fear to justice within seconds. Frank tries to protest, but his voice carries no power anymore. The truth has finally caught up with him. Frank is dragged out of the office, shouting, insisting he is innocent, but no one believes him anymore. The streets outside glow with warm evening light as the officers escort him to the police vehicle. The daughter stands quietly, watching the man who destroyed her father's life finally face justice. The maid and the officers thank her sincerely, acknowledging that her bravery and determination brought the truth to light. One officer gently asks if she knows where Frank's missing money is. She simply smiles softly and says he doesn't have it anymore, leaving her words open to interpretation. Justice has been served, and she walks away with calm confidence, finally closing a painful chapter of her family's past. The warm light around her symbolizes a new beginning, not just for her but for everyone Frank once controlled through fear. The truth has prevailed, and Donald's name has finally been cleared.